Athletics is a part of my life. It's not the only part of my life. And how do I learn how to balance? My name is Julie Kissee. I am the Administrative Director for the Student Assistance Program here at St. Francis University. Well, I would say mental health is really important for performance. The more someone feels mentally stable and mentally healthy, they're going to perform better. They're going to feel like they're a part of the team. They're going to feel better able to concentrate, to retain information, to be able to get up. Somebody who experiences depression is not going to feel as motivated, not going to be able to eat or sleep well. And so an athlete who can't eat well or sleep well is not going to be able to perform to the best of their ability. Somebody who is experiencing, say for example, anxiety, an athlete who is constantly feeling anxious is really going to be second guessing themselves. That's going to really impact their confidence level, their concentration level. They're going to worry a lot. They're going to second guess themselves. And so anxiety and depression, as far as mental health goes, is really going to impact their performance, their ability to be a good team member, to really just be able to show up on a performance level. Student athletes, probably stress management, anxiety, depression, which is very common in most, whether it's the student population at its entirety, but also just the American population across the board is what we're seeing. The biggest thing that I always say to look for are personality changes. So if they were very happy, outgoing, and they start to withdraw into their kind of personal world, they stop interacting with people, or they stop, if they were very social and they stop going out as much. If they start to change their personal appearance, so somebody who might have been very particular about their dress or taking care of their personal appearance, and then they stop showering or doing their hair or doing their, if it's doing their makeup, those are usually signs that something is going on with their mental health. So personality changes, physical changes, mood changes. So if somebody who was usually very happy-go-lucky and they're starting to become short-tempered, physical, like anger outbursts, so they become very reactive, and that's not like them. They're short-tempered. People on the outside are going to notice those changes long before the person themselves are going to notice those changes. So usually those types of symptoms, if you start to notice some unhealthy coping mechanisms start to come into play. They start eating more ice cream or snack foods when they were normally eating really, really healthy, especially athletes who are normally eating like a regimen of high proteins and really watching what they eat. They start to go, you know what, I'll eat more snack foods or whatever. That's usually a sign that what's going on? Are they kind of coping with some comfort foods? Are they staying up later at night? So there's some sleep disturbances, having difficulty sleeping or sleeping too much. Like they're hard to wake up in the morning. Their sleep patterns are changing. They're showing up late to class, not going to class at all. Those are some signs and symptoms. Something might be going on with their mood. Those are the things that we have to start looking at. Just really some changes in them as an individual out for safety if they start to give away maybe some of their prized possessions. So if they had, say for example, they have a World Series baseball, they're a baseball player and this was their prized possession, they're like, here, I want you to have it. Or, hey, I used to always play this video game, it's my favorite video game, but you know what, I'm not going to have any use for it. You know, those are some of the signs and symptoms of you know what, something they might be preparing to do something. Those are probably the bigger signs. But if they are struggling on the field or on the court or on, you know, the whatever sport that they normally were striving to do a good job and their just motivation levels are decreasing, or say for example they're turning in the other direction and they're really emptying themselves into that work, that also might be a sign. Really behavioral or personality changes, mood shifts, things like that. Those are signs we want to look for. Key would be balance. Having a set wake up and sleep time. So sleep is really, really important, especially to deal with stress. So, and when you're, just like when you're preparing for, you know, the season, you know, sleeping, eating, regimen, the most balance that you can have, you know, when you're stressed, your body starts to produce a lot of like cortisol and unhealthy chemicals in your body. We go into fight or flight. We can't stop that process from happening, but what we can do is try to be as healthy as possible. Eat healthy foods, eat foods that are, you know, like high in protein, not high in sugar. So try to stay away from those high snacky, you know, fried foods, things like that. But sleep is really important. So even on weekends, you know, not sleeping too late, trying to keep the same sleep schedule, wake up time, sleep time, staying away from some of that blue light when, you know, get that restorative sleep. Restorative sleep is really good for stress, anxiety, depression, trying to keep as much balance as you possibly can. Getting out into nature. So there's a lot of research that's out there where nature, like, we're just like plants. So getting sunlight really kind of rejuvenates us. It gets, you know, vitamin D pumping throughout our body. So you can only get that by being out in the sunlight. So, you know, getting your feet in the grass, you know, even if it's just taking your shoes and your socks off and getting your feet into nature. But other things are really kind of doing some gratitude journaling, like really kind of looking at some of that positivity, humor, laughing, even if you can do a couple of different, like, you know, things that just give you that belly laugh. That really releases some of those feel-good Pitocin and those other feel-good hormones that really combat what that fight or flight response does to our body. What ends up happening is you can't stay at that level. Stress keeps us up at that level really high, and so trying to do some deep breathing, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. We don't deep breathe enough. So there's a lot of different things that you can do that are like present moment stuff, mindfulness techniques, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation types of activities, and they don't cost any money. You just have to learn those coping mechanisms that you can, you know, you can Google, you can read up on, you can do some of those things. The Student Assistance Program can help teach you some of those things. We do, you know, some workshops that just teach some of those kind of mindfulness techniques. So any of those things can help with stress and anxiety and really just kind of being in the moment and releasing yourself from some of those maybe negative thoughts that go through your head, and do some cognitive behavioral restructuring, so to speak. That big problem and breaking it down into where are the parts where I can work on it. So of course we have the student assistance program, and we are available. So we have face-to-face counselors, therapists that are available. Not only do we have face-to-face, we have virtual. So we have many different therapists that are available within our network so that we can use that. If it is bigger than a brief, so we do brief therapy, we do brief counseling. And like I said, you don't have to have a diagnosis in order to come in and utilize the student assistance program. But if it is something that is bigger, then you guys get 6 free sessions per academic year. If it's something that we can't address in that brief counseling, we'll talk to you about, do you have insurance? If you don't have insurance, what's available in the community that we can, look at? Are there community resources that can do longer term work, or are there things that, say for example, somebody does suffer from a mental health diagnosis that needs medication or more intensive work? We can look at what's available in the community and then help you with that resource and connect you with that resource and follow up with that resource. But we can also help the student if they're having trouble, if the athletic student is having trouble with schoolwork. Can we maybe bridge the gap with talking with the professor to say, maybe we need to look at some different ways of taking exams, or different ways of assigning work, or things like that. And so we can also be a resource to not just, is there a situation that's going on, but is there some other things that we can also help with, some of the other resources that are on campus. There's a lot of programs on campus and other groups on campus that help students that are struggling either academically, or are they struggling with a disability. There's other grant programs that help students that suffer from disabilities, whether that's ADHD or an actual physical disability that we can help. Are there resources that are available? And so there's many, many different resources that if we can't provide it, that's also part of what we do, is to find out what is available either on campus or off campus in the Fort Wayne area that we can help. And if it's not within this area, is it when you go home on break or over the summertime, how can we maybe get you connected once you go home? And so we are a resource to try to also figure all of that out as well, if it's something that we can't provide as well. And there's also the wellness portion of the healthy clinic that provides also, if you're physically not well. So you could see a nurse practitioner here for the physical side of things as well too. So